Can women or men hold the breath longer? Let's find out in this video. But first, some very important safety to remember. You should never swim when you're alone and especially not hold your breath underwater. Many professional freedivers and swimmers have drowned and died because they did not have someone there to save them. When holding your breath, it is possible to black out before you feel the need to breathe. And if that happens underwater, you're in trouble. So let's get into it. My name is Christian Verøy and this is Can Men or Women Hold the Breath Longer? Men on average have higher lung capacity than women by 10 to 12%. But does that mean they can hold the breath longer? Let's look at 3 different scenarios here. 1. Men and women untrained in breath hold who are just taking a deep breath and trying to hold like most people would do if you ask them to hold the breath. 2. Untrained men and women holding the breath after doing a warm-up breath hold and getting instructions on how to properly prepare to hold your breath. And 3. Professional freedivers who train and compete in static apnea. Static apnea is when you lay still and hold the breath without moving. Researching to make this video, I found some scientific articles and some not so scientific articles on the topic. Some of them I agree with and some I very much disagree with. For example, a scientific study linked in the description said breath hold ability was not different in male and females, both not experienced in apnea. The study had a small sample size of 16 participants, 8 men and 8 women, which is not enough people to actually get accurate results that can be applied to the general population. You will soon see how much these results vary from the first test breath holds with the people you see in this video. An article on Quora said on average men can hold their breath in the range of 37 to 44 seconds. And for women the range is 38 to 66 seconds, which is a bit less than 2% longer but still longer than the men. So let's take a look at my own tests. When I try with people untrained in breath holds, we usually start by me letting them just take a deep breath and try to hold like they normally would do. The results from these initial tests have been that the girls on average hold their breath for 55 seconds, with the shortest being 32 seconds and the longest being 1 minute and 8 seconds. Guys on average did 1 minute and 59 seconds, with the shortest breath hold being 1 minute and 39 seconds and the longest breath hold being 2 minutes and 35 seconds. As a disclaimer, in my test I only included 3 girls and 3 guys, as that was what I have video of and the exact numbers from the tests. But the rest of the breath hold beginners I have trained have had similar results, where the guys usually do a bit longer than the girls. I also told them not to eat 8 hours before the test. I don't know if they did that for the studies and the articles I talked about. But eating right before compared to waiting a while before holding the breath impacts a lot how long you can hold your breath. If I eat right before, I can hold about half the time I can do if I wait 8 hours. The people I tried with was also on average fit people who regularly goes to the gym, does yoga and other sports. After the initial test, we did a 20 to 30 minutes of breath hold training where they learn breathing techniques, how the body reacts to holding the breath long, how to relax, and the basic techniques of breath holds. Just knowing what happens to the body with diaphragm contractions, that it is the CO2 buildup and not the lack of oxygen that triggers the breathing reflex, and learning how to do a body scan and relax every muscle helps a lot with reducing how much oxygen you use and making sure that you don't panic when the breathing reflex kicks in. After about 20 to 30 minutes of training, we did a 3-minute preparation with breathing and then a new test. On the test with the people in this video, the women did on average 3 minutes and 17 seconds, with the shortest breath hold being 3 minutes and the longest being 3:40. The men did on average 3 minutes and 51 seconds, with the shortest breath hold being 3 minutes and 24 seconds and the longest being 4:40. The third scenario we can look at is professional athletes and the world records. Then I'm talking about the world records in static apnea with regular air, not the records where people breathe pure oxygen to prepare. The world record for women held by Natalia Molchanova is 9:02. And the world record for men is 11:54. But in 2009, when Natalia set the record, she would have been second in the world ranking men's category as well. On AIDA's page, I found 5,460 men registered as competitive static apnea athletes since the year 2000, and only 2,384 women, meaning double the amount of men compared to women, which will also make a big difference in the opportunity between the sexes to get to a higher record, as the more people you have, the better chance you have someone will be really good. So looking at the percentage difference with the people I train who are untrained in holding their breath but in good shape, without instructions, the girls did 53% shorter than the guys. If they got some instructions and did a proper warm-up, the guys still hold a bit longer, but the gap between men and women became a lot smaller, with the girls only doing 15% shorter than the guys, which is pretty close to the percentage difference in lung volume between men and women. As a disclaimer here, with only having 3 girls and 3 guys, the huge difference of 53% in the initial breath hold test could be that those guys are better than the girls at disconnecting, emptying their brains, relaxing their muscles, and getting less stressed with the feeling of running out of air. It could also be that the guys were willing to push harder, or maybe the guys were just more relaxed before we started. From my experience, guys do hold the breath longer than girls on both before and after the 30 minutes of training, but the difference is not always as big on the first test with these 6 subjects. If we look at the world record holder for women, Natalia Molchanova, she did 542 seconds, which is 24% shorter than the world record for men, which is 714 seconds. But it's only 3% shorter than the man ranking as number 1 in the world at the time when she set the record. As I know, the comment section will be filled with comments saying what the world record with pure oxygen is without them knowing it's actually with pure oxygen. Here's some fun facts about that. In 2009, a woman, Carol Mayer, was able to do 1832 with pure oxygen, which was 29 seconds longer than Gianluca Gionis' record of 2008. That record has later been beaten many times, with the last time being in March 2021, when Budimir Sobat did 24:33. My conclusion is then, men can in general hold their breath longer than women, but not always. If you like this video, consider subscribing for more tips on holding your breath longer and other content like this. Have a nice day.